Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Good to be here.
Today we're plunging into a fascinatingly ambitious concept, a whole interconnected ecosystem of platforms.
Yeah, it's quite something. Designed to reshape how we do quite a few things.
Yeah.
Build software, share knowledge, even make decisions.
And interact with robots. It's like a digital Swiss Army knife, you know?
Yeah.
Each tool tackling a different kind of challenge.
Exactly. We have a detailed outline here describing this whole system. It covers everything, really, from reusable code specifics to, well, collective intelligence.
So our goal today is to really get under the hood, understand how these pieces fit, what makes them tick, and maybe the broader implications.
What could it all mean?
And for you, our listener, whether you're interested in where tech is going or how businesses might change or just new ways we could interact, we're going to break down each key part.
We'll look for the core ideas, how they might actually work together.
Okay, let's unpack this. Starting with the foundation, the code-sharing platform for web and app development.
Right. So what's interesting here is the focus on a no-code platform, but it's got a significant difference.
It's not just drag and drop.
Not entirely. The central idea is more like a marketplace. Developers can create and, importantly, sell reusable code snippets.
Okay. Snippets for web and apps.
Yeah, using things like JavaScript, Flutter, which, is great for cross-platform apps. These snippets get categorized, and then users access them through a subscription.
Right. So it sounds more like a component store for building software rather than just templates.
Exactly. And the document stresses that this code needs to be highly customizable, easy to integrate.
Which tackles a big limitation of some basic no-code tools, right? Where you hit a wall pretty fast.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's about flexible building blocks. And to encourage quality, make things easier to find. There's a ranking system.
Based on usage.
Based on how often a snippet is purchased. More popular means higher rank. And that popularity might even influence the subscription fees. A slice of that revenue then goes back to the platform itself.
So it creates this dynamic where user demand actually highlights the best code.
Yeah, it should surface the most valuable stuff.
Now, this builder functionality sounds particularly interesting. What's the idea there? Requesting specific code.
Well, the builder seems designed to tackle that, last mile problem in development, when existing stuff doesn't quite fit your specific need.
Okay.
So if a user needs a particular function, they can request it within the right category.
Yeah.
If it exists already as a snippet, great, they can use it.
But if not, that's where it gets interesting.
That's the innovative bit. If it doesn't exist, programmers can step in, create it.
On demand, basically.
Pretty much. They add it to the platform, set a small subscription fee, and offer a trial period like, say, 3 days for the person who requested it.
And if the user likes it, they subscribe.
If they find it useful, keep using it, they pay the subscription. And those fees are collected and paid out monthly to the creators.
It's a direct link between a specific need and the creation of the solution.
It is. Almost like a marketplace for on-demand, small-scale code development.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's shift gears a bit. The robotics and devices platform. Sounds like it follows a similar pattern.
Yes. The basic process code sharing subscriptions, it's the same core idea. But the key difference, and the document flags this, is the main language, Python.
Which makes sense. Python's huge in robotics, controlling devices.
That's the logical choice. And here, instead of web or app developers being the end users of the code itself,
it's the robot and device engineers integrating their actual hardware with the platform. Is that right?
Correct. Manufacturers would need to design their robots, their devices, to connect to the platform's infrastructure.
Allowing programmers to then write software for that specific hardware.
Exactly. Think of it like an app store, but for your robot vacuum or your smart thermostat or whatever device.
So programmers could make, what, specific control programs? Games?
Could be anything, really.
Yeah.
From very specific routines to more user-facing applications, even games that interact with the robot, potentially.
The testing and approval process seems absolutely crucial here, though. We're talking code controlling physical things.
Oh, absolutely critical.
Yeah.
The document really emphasizes this. Robot or device owners, they get to test any program first before committing to a subscription or a one-time purchase.
Okay, that's reassuring.
And interestingly, it mentions an offline purchase option too. But beyond the owner testing, the platform itself requires manufacturers provide test versions of their hardware.
Wait, test versions of the actual robots or devices? Why?
Yeah, this seems like a really smart move for security and quality.
Ah, I see.
By having that test hardware, the platform can analyze the code, make sure it works, obviously, but also critically check it doesn't do anything harmful. No security risks.
Building trust in the software.
Exactly. Building trust. And the owner also gets a say in the revenue they set, the percentage they receive from the subscription or purchase fee.
Okay, so we're moving from just digital code to code that directly influences the physical world. That's quite a leap.
It's a significant expansion, yeah.
All right, let's move on again. The human intelligence system, the HI system. This sounds, well, completely different.
It does take a different tack. What's really noteworthy is this core idea that for certain tasks, maybe collaborative human intelligence can actually outperform AI.
Interesting premise.
So the system is built around knowledge sharing and validation. It uses a subscription model, again, small fee. But most of that revenue gets distributed back to the participating subscribers.
Based on?
Based on how the community rates their contributions, their answers, their questions.
And passive users, people who just want to read.
They can view everything, questions, answers, ratings, for free. No participation required for just looking.
So how does the Q&A part actually work?
Any subscriber can pose question. They can even provide their own initial answer.
Okay.
Then other users interact. And it's quite multifaceted. They can oppose an answer by commenting with what they think is the right answer.
Or agree.
Or agree with a supportive comment. Or they can just vote for one of the opposing answers someone else has already suggested.
Right, so multiple ways to engage. And this leads to a kind of refinement process.
Exactly. If the votes for an opposing answer start to outweigh the votes agreeing with the original,
Then what?
then a poll gets triggered to see which of the alternatives is the most popular. And that popular alternative might actually replace the original answer.
Wow. What about the original person?
They have a choice. Stick with their answer or edit it based on all the feedback and the poll results.
It sounds very organic, like a self-correcting knowledge base.
That seems to be the goal. And the reputation system is key.
How so?
Well, users get ranked based on how many of their answers get the most votes, and also for asking good questions or making other valuable inputs.
Incentivizing quality participation.
Precisely. Helps surface the most reliable info.
wow.
And crucially, users can change their votes later, so it's not static. Knowledge can evolve as understanding changes.
Okay, that HI system is fascinating. Now, the decision system sounds like a more focused version of that, aimed at organizations.
That's right. It takes the HI concept and targets it for institutions, companies.
Right.
Similar subscription model offered a small fee per employee who joins in.
Which the company can cover.
Yeah, companies can pay for their users.
Yeah.
Again, platform takes a small cut, maybe 10%. The rest goes to the users with the highest rated contributions within that company's context.
And the mechanics are basically the same, asking, answering, rating.
They mirror the HI system very closely. The institution poses a decision question, maybe with some initial options. Users then oppose, agree, vote, just like HI.
Same revision process if there's disagreement.
Same polling and potential answer replacement. The key difference, obviously, is the purpose. The collective user votes here are meant to directly guide the final decision for that company or institution.
That could be a huge shift, making decisions much more collaboratively.
Potentially, yes, a very different model.
Then there's the judgment system, another variation.
Feels like a hybrid, yeah. Pulls from both the decision and HI platforms. But the payment's different. Instead of a subscription.
It's per use.
Sort of. You pay a small fee for each judge you want involved in a specific judgment entry.
So you decide how many opinions you need for a particular thing.
Exactly. Users submit these judgment entries, whatever they might be. Then the wider platform community weighs in voting, answering, rating, similar to the HI system.
And the cost scales with the number of judges you want?
Right. More judges, higher fee. You can imagine using this for, I don't know, evaluating creative work, maybe getting feedback on an idea, even forecasting, perhaps.
Lots of possibilities. We also saw HI responders. What's that about? Verified input.
Yeah, basically, if someone, maybe an expert or someone directly involved, gets mentioned in an HI question or answer,
They can respond officially.
they can become a verified official responder. Their input gets flagged as such, so everyone knows it's coming directly from them. Adds a layer of authority or direct perspective.
Okay. And lastly, this family and friends contact group feature. This feels different again, more social, and maybe strategic.
Very strategic, I think. It taps into user growth. The idea is simple. Users create private discussion groups with people already in their phone contacts.
Like scattered messaging groups?
Similar, but here's the kicker. These private groups can use the core HI features, Q&A, discussion, decision-making tools for free within their closed group.
Ah, so it's a way to get people using the system in a low-stakes, personal way, a potential adoption driver for the main platform.
Exactly. It leverages existing social graphs for organic growth. And the document is clear. The content of these private groups stays private. It's not shared on the public HI system.
But can you share things into the private group?
Yes, users can share interesting stuff they find on the public HI platform into their private discussions, so it cross-pollinates.
And there's a viral marketing angle mentioned.
Right, an optional paid feature. Let users share messages beyond their direct contacts to contacts of contacts, and maybe even further out.
For a fee.
For a fee. It's designed purely for reach, creating that network effect to potentially spread the platform's awareness quite rapidly.
Okay, wow. We've covered a huge amount of ground there.
Definitely.
This interconnected set of platforms, it's incredibly ambitious. From code sharing, robotics control, all the way to human intelligence, collective decisions, social features.
It really is a holistic vision. We've seen how it tries to weave together user-generated content, subscriptions, community ratings across such a diverse range of applications.
The common thread seems to be this community-driven value creation and validation, wouldn't you say?
I think so. Whether it's code snippets or knowledge or decisions or even these judgments, it relies on the collective input.
So as you, our listener, are processing all this, maybe think about the implications. Could a model like this really disrupt how software gets built?
Or how we share and trust information online.
Could it genuinely change how organizations, maybe even broader groups, make critical decisions? What are the upsides? Tapping into that massive collective intelligence.
In creativity. But on the flip side, what are the challenges, the potential pitfalls? Relying on community systems for things that traditionally belong to experts or institutions.
Definitely gives you a lot to chew on. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.